What's up, guys? So it's been a year and 3 months since we last saw a Conor fight, and finally in 12 days, we get to see him again. And just like I did last time when he fought Khabib, where I made a video specifically for his fight, I'm doing the same this time. This video I will only talk about Conor versus Cerrone, and then next week I'll be uploading the remaining of my predictions for UFC 246. And well, let's get to it. So this fight seems like the perfect winnable comeback fight for Conor, and it's perfect really because Cowboy is a big name, so a lot of people have a lot of respect for Cowboy. So he's not just fighting a nobody. He's actually fighting a really good guy. So he goes there, he beats him, opens up a lot of doors. Make the case for whatever they want to do, because the UFC loves Conor. So who knows what will happen after this fight. And I'll go straight to my pick. I have Conor by TKO round 2. That's my official prediction. And let's get to it. Let's break it down, and I don't even know where to start. Let's start with what Cerrone's team said. One of his coaches made the comment that they only need to worry about about Conor's left hand. And while that is Conor's biggest weapon, like most of his wins have been with one or a couple of his straight lefts, like the one with I think the one with Poirier, the one with Mendes, the one with Aldo, that wasn't really a straight left, it was more like a hook. All the ones he landed on Eddie Alvarez. If I was Cerrone's team, I wouldn't be really worried about specifically the left hand, but overall Conor's boxing. So Conor's hands overall would be my concern, because in all the aspects of MMA, the covers all the way from kicking to punching to whatever you want, the one area where Conor is much superior to Cowboy is his hands. That one, there's no denying. Conor is faster, more technical, more precise. So, I think it's a mistake to just for Cerrone's team to be just focused on the left hand. Focus on his hands overall. See, Cerrone made that comment that he wants to go out there and trade punches with Conor to please the crowd. Don't do that. If Cerrone goes out there to trade punches with Conor, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. I hope he gets knocked out, and he deserves to get knocked out because you're asking for it. And but that is it. That is the one area of MMA where Conor is so much superior to Cerrone. And I've made that comment before on social media, and I see people laugh like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And then I'll ask them, "Okay, well, tell me where else is Conor better?" Nobody ever gives me an answer. So, kicks. Cerrone has no head kicks in the UFC. No wins by head kick. Let's focus UFC. If he does before the UFC, it doesn't count. That's almost 8 years ago. The only kick that I see him use was leg kicks versus Nate Diaz, which I don't think will be his strategy versus Cerrone. And that front kick / push kick, teep, whatever you wanted, that it's more to not really knock you out, but it's more to keep you at bay, and eventually it'll take a toll on your cardio if you land a whole bunch of them. But no, you can't compare it. Cerrone has so many head kicks. If we look for it, Hernandez was a head kick. Matt Brown was a head kick. Rick Story was a head kick. John McCasey head kick. Miller head kick. We can go on forever about all the people that he has knocked out by head kicks. So, there was one more guy. I don't see him here. So kicks overall go to Cerrone. Even if I guess if you make the comment, "Oh, Conor has a better front kick," sure, whatever. But overall, The guy that knocks people out with head kicks, it's Cerrone, not Conor. Um, Submissions. Again, Conor has no submissions in the UFC. I don't think he even has attempts for submissions in the UFC. I think he has before, but again, those were so many years ago that don't even count. Cerrone has several in the UFC. Mike Perry, Alex Oliveira, Edson Barboza, Dennis Seaver, Paul Kelly, and overall, his record, if you look at it, out of his 36 wins, 17 are by submission and 10 by knockout. So he actually has more wins by submission than knockouts. So submissions go to Cerrone. Cardio. I've seen Cerrone go 5 rounds. Just recently versus Iaquinta. Then the one with Leon Edwards. I think those are the only two. And he doesn't even look a little bit tired. Like if you saw his fight with Iaquinta, he didn't look tired. So cardio, I also give it to Cerrone. Conor. Most of his fights end round 1, round 2. And if we talk about specifically 170, we've only seen him at 170 twice, both of them versus Diaz. The first fight, it's not even a matter of opinion. Conor was gassed midway round 2. Then Diaz started to land the punches, eventually hurt him. Conor shoots for the takedown. Diaz stopped it like nothing, reversed him, submitted him. The second fight, if you don't want to call it gassed on the second fight, fine, fair enough. But still, towards the end of round 2, Conor had severely, like extremely slowed down. Because he was beating the crap out of Diaz all round 1 and the first half, almost the entire first round, up until like the last minute and a half where Diaz takes over. Because again, Conor was just running away and he was just not the same, like considerably slows down. So we don't know. We don't know if this is an issue that Conor has or we'll find out on the 18th, maybe, because I'm picking Conor to win by TKO round 2. So, and that's another thing, right? Let's look at Cowboys. This is why I think it's a perfect match for Conor. Because it's a perfect match for Conor because look at Cerrone's losses. Gaethje, round 1. Ferguson, round 2. Darren Till, round 1. Masvidal, round 2. Dos Anjos, round 1. Pettis, round 1. And then if you look at Conor's wins, they're on the other side. Alvarez, round 2. Aldo, round 1. Mendes, round 2. Silver, round 2. Poirier, round 1. Brandel, round 1. And then if we go back to the Holloway one, that was almost over 6 years ago. So whenever Cerrone loses, most of the times he gets destroyed round 1, round 2. And that's what Conor is good at, round 1, round 2. So that's why I'm picking Conor. And Cerrone just chokes on these big fights. So, but here's the thing. Here's the big if. What if, Cerrone doesn't just trade punches with him and goes with a strategy to survive, and it goes past round 2? What if Conor doesn't finish Cerrone by the end of round 2, and his energy considerably drops, like we saw it against Diaz both times? Cerrone could very well take over and win the fight, and Cerrone could win it all 3 ways. So let's say he loses round 1 and 2, but then his cardio holds up and he wins 3, 4, and 5. He'll get that decision. Even if Conor got a 10-8 round, it would be a draw. So Cerrone could pull the decision. Cerrone could knock him out. While we talk about Conor's knockout power and everything, don't forget Cerrone himself has knockout power with both his hands and kicks. So if Conor, is a little tired, Cerrone could time it and knock him out with whatever he wants. Submit him too. Cerrone could submit Conor if Conor's tired and Cerrone decides to grapple. So that is a big if. That I feel like a lot of people don't consider it. I mean, I see a lot of people that they are convinced that Conor is gonna just steamroll through Cerrone, and even though my pick is knockout round two, I do see the what if, you know. So, um, yeah, would I be shocked if it goes past round two and Cerrone wins? No, not at all. Um, as a matter of fact, I believe that if it goes past round two, there's a big chance Cerrone will pull the upset. So that's it, guys. I have Conor by KO TKO round two punches, but you know, you never know. What if Cerrone takes it to the later rounds? Well, what could happen? We'll find out. And like I said, next week I'll be uploading the remaining of UFC 246. All right, guys, have a good one.